Hi, I'm Charlotte Donlon. I am a writer, a spiritual director, and the host of Art and Faith Unplugged podcast and website. My first book is The Great Belonging: How Loneliness Leads Us to Each Other. And this is a kind of behind the scenes look at the book and each chapter from the book. In the first video I recorded, I said these would be around 4 or 5 minutes long, or maybe 3 or 4 minutes long, but they're like 8 minutes long. So they'll be up to 8 minutes long, hopefully not longer than that. Also, just quick, I don't have a ton of like equipment, recording, studio things, whatever. So this is the quality that it's going to be. This is me in my wonderful office that I love, with YouTube going live with no one watching because I don't have a following on YouTube. But it's just the easiest way to record the video and throw it online and go with it. So this is the video for chapter 2 from The Great Belonging. And I'm just doing a little bit of a background / thoughts, notes, additional information that might put some stuff from the book in context, or even just things I've learned since I wrote the book. Because I do continue to learn about loneliness and belonging with every day even. And I will say that I don't really struggle with loneliness anymore. I have it, but I don't, it's not a hard thing for me. It's not as hard as it used to be. And I believe it's because I spent so much time reading and writing and talking about loneliness that it's kind of normalized it, and it's taken away the shame. And I always say that the more we talk about it, and the more we put it out in the open, the less power it has over us. So I don't feel as oppressed by loneliness as I used to. And I also am way more aware of my belongings, the ways I belong to myself, to others, and God, the ways I belong to my places, and the ways art helps me belong. So chapter 2 is on core loneliness. And this is a term that I borrowed and quoted from Dr. Tom Varney, and it's this tiny little book called On Loneliness, or Loneliness, by him, that I think you can buy it. It's like a tiny little, I guess, Bible study type book. I don't have it here with me, but my first therapist I ever had, Dr. Gordon Bowles, recommended that book when I started writing this book, and I immediately connected with the idea of core loneliness, which is basically this like deep sense of loneliness that some of us feel to a greater degree than others. I'll read just a little bit about what Dr. Tom Varney says. It's not simply situational feelings of rejection or isolation. Rather, Varney says of core loneliness, this kind of loneliness is more basic, more fundamental to our existence as human beings, and it is seldom discussed or even acknowledged. So it's like this kind of sense of, if you're a Christian, this sense of knowing that as long as you're here on this world, in this body, you will always feel kind of alone and separated from what you were created and meant to be. At least that's how I experience it. So my core loneliness, and the way I think about it, is very much tied to, the idea that I'm a human, that no one I know, like no friend, my husband, no one will ever fully understand me, because I'm a separate human. I'm a separate entity. They can't get inside my mind. My husband likes to tell me all the time, I can't read your mind. And that's true. Like, he can't, and he never will be able to. But like, on the other side of this, I do believe that core loneliness will go away. Like, on the other side of eternity, when, I believe that in heaven, when we're there will be no more loneliness. So that is one of the types of loneliness that I struggle with the most, or that I feel the most, is that kind of separation from God and separation from the communion of saints, I guess you could say. And but there is like this sense of hope, knowing that eventually I won't have that core loneliness anymore. So that's what chapter 2 is about. It's short. A lot of my chapters are short. And I like the last sentence here of that chapter. It says, "Great loneliness makes us yearn for the great belonging, even if we don't know how to put words around our affliction or our ache for more." So that is chapter 2, core loneliness. Thanks for joining me for this behind the scenes look at the great belonging, how loneliness leads us to each other. You can learn more about me and my writing and my work at charlottedonlon.com, at writinglifespiritualdirection.com, at artandfaithunplugged.com, and on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Charlotte Donlon, although you will find the best of what I have to offer and make and create in my book, on my websites, and on my podcasts. I enjoy social media, but it's not the best of me. So I'd love for you to connect with me elsewhere, but social media is fine too. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with chapter 3 next time.